I think the best aspect of it has to be that idea that we didn't buy something off the shelf that was a done deal, a set package, and it was just going to get delivered to a willing or unwilling audience regardless. It was, you know, a 12-month programme with this many sessions, that's it, we're going to deliver that, that's the end of it. It really was about a partnership, and there was a distinct willingness, I think, on both sides, but you'd expect that from Trident, but certainly on New Possibilities side, to make it work and to change the programme. So after each session, there was obviously feedback in the session from people who were experiencing that learning, and what people had learned, what people had found particularly useful, and any suggestions to the New Possibility facilitators about what could be done differently. But then equally there was a group that kind of sat over that, which included myself and some of the New Possibilities consultants, looking at bringing that information together and saying, actually something's changed and we've got a slightly different objective, and can we cover that now? So it was the flexibility, I think, and a willingness to see this learning programme as something that had to spread further than just 60 people receiving, you know, so many training days over a year's period. So it was nice to see an organisation that wasn't just selling something that it had tried and tested, but was prepared to customise it to Trident's particular needs, whilst staying very true to some principles, and being very good, I think, sometimes in challenging Trident and saying, well, we can't change it that way if your goal is still going to be person-centred, because that wouldn't stay true to you know, the ethos of New Possibilities and the person-centred planning tools. So it has to be, I think, and it's a bit of a cliche, but that partnership idea, that there was just really good dialogue, and lots of willingness to meet up, you know, sort of ad hocly. It was never kind of a, well, let's come back together, we've commissioned the wrong thing and it's now going to be really difficult to work out how we make this different. It was just, oh yeah, you know, we can change that. And what was quite interesting was, because we broadened it across different groups of workers, the different cohorts, if you like, were all working at a slightly different pace. And that caused a little bit of concern at the beginning, which was, you know, like, gosh, is the second group that perhaps aren't running as quickly with this idea as the first, are they going to need a longer programme? But actually what happened was opportunities were just created for that group to explore further some of their perhaps scepticism or reluctance to change their way of working. So that, again, just proved how flexible this programme could be, really. And the fact, I think, that, you know, by and large, New Possibilities weren't phased by an organisation that was very clear about what it wanted, wasn't perhaps very clear about how it wanted to deliver it, and perhaps changed its mind a few times along the way as well. And that was really refreshing to see. Well, I think we were fairly clear from the onset, but this just got clearer as we worked our way through the learning programme, that we did see this as a long-term partnership, and in fact we are now talking about what kind of programme we want to follow on from what we've already done. And I think what's interesting and important in that is that we were quite clear at the beginning, by myself going onto the programme, that we didn't necessarily just want to replicate this programme year on year and ask New Possibilities to deliver it, but we needed to develop some in-house expertise. And an aspect of the previous programme was doing that. You know, a number of people who'd gone through the programme were asked to go on and do a facilitators course, so that they would be able specifically to help with planning with people, so that we would have that in-house resource. So that was kind of a sort of win-win situation. And I guess our next programme is looking on from that and saying, okay, which bits do we need further expertise and input with, and which bits do we need to take more responsibility for? And again, the programme that we're looking at the moment is very much about embedding that person-centred practice, but talking about how managers do that and how managers role model that. But also as well looking at an aspect of train the trainer, and how then can we identify some in-house resources to go on and perpetuate that idea of the organisation wanting to be person-centred. So I think, and I think again, in the gap, if you like, between when the previous learning programme ended and when the next one starts, the relationship between the two companies hasn't ended. So there's still contact from our facilitators, making sort of informal contact with New Possibilities, asking for some advice and guidance on their role as facilitators. And there's obviously been lots of dialogue about the next programme. So again, it's not as if you write the cheque and it stops there, and then we won't pick something up again until the next piece of work's commissioned. There's been that consistency throughout, I think, and that willingness to keep working together.